Hi, my name is Leslie Williams and I'm in San Diego, California, and I'm making this particular video file in reference to just a statement, okay, in reference to the type of people that engage in organized stalking expeditions. Now, my father was Chief MP to General Curtis LeMay. I've been wanting to be, throughout my whole entire life, I wanted to be a cop because of the type of nature of my personality. Fighting crime, exposing crime, and advocating for the innocent victims of crime. There's a lot involved in what's happening towards me as a result of being a target of organized stalking that has been going on my entire life, and I did not know it because of who my parents were actually connected to. But I'm not my parents, okay? Just like you can't blame a raccoon for being born to the parent that they're born to, you cannot blame a person for the type of parents they have and what they might be involved in even before you're conceived. So, even though my parents were directly connected to organized crime that has had military connections, I want fellow Americans to understand that I have a totally 100% different type of personality that these organized stalking expeditions have in their nature, and in reference to the organized crime they're connected to, and in reference to how my family is connected to it as well. Now, I have been able to keep great aspects of my personality attributes intact in reference to who I am as a person. But I want to tell you something. Through trauma that has been brought about towards me as a result of this organized stalking expedition, and as a result of certain aspects of my personality that was cultivated as I was growing up, believing that the FBI was the good guy. I even applied and sent away for information for the FBI when I was 19. I wanted to be a police officer my whole entire life. And so what we have to understand here is that a lot of my personality attributes were already cultivated before any of this remote neural monitoring manipulation took place. And so it's hard to break down what's already cultivated in your understanding, in your mental processes, and in your and even in certain aspects of your morality. Because when you become a target of this crime and you research it in depthly, and you come to find out that the FBI highly seem to be involved in these expeditions. The CIA is 100% involved in them. The NSA, the DOD, and then how they're now infiltrating law enforcement at the local level. Then we can come to understand how even individuals who might have even entered these agencies with good intentions have been manipulated, even neurally, as a result as well. And then you also have the individuals who are directly have criminal attributes in their own personalities, who are definitely used for these types of criminal expeditions that are attached to organized stalking. Electronic harassment, which is nothing but the microwave auditory effect, scalar projected audible distinguishable signals that have parabolic geometric projections, and also remote neural monitoring, influencing, and stimulating. Now, in order for you to understand exactly what I'm talking about, you're going to have to do the research. I am making this video in part for two separate sections in reference to the law enforcement personnel that is involved in organized stalking expeditions. Hang on, I'm smoking a cigarette. This is nothing but organized crime that's in the system. You can go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. It's a manifesto of a manager who hosts and directs and manages organized stalking expeditions along the targets when they're out in the community. In this manifesto, he clearly describes a great aspect of the syndicate and what they're involved in, including some of the technological descriptions in reference to the technological capabilities that they have. He also describes pretty much in depth their connections in reference to who is part of the syndicate that is in the system. Judges, lawyers, doctors, psychiatrists, social services, Medicare workers, police officers, and firefighters. And so I am making this video for you. And I am also making this video for law enforcement and government agency officials who are not involved in organized stalking expeditions. Now, the aspect in reference to why I'm making this video for individuals who are not involved in organized stalking expeditions, who are in government agencies, employment descriptions, and law enforcement, my first note of statement to you is to watch your back, because these individuals who are in your employment descriptions will screw you over and even set you up to possibly even be murdered if you witness the wrong thing at the wrong time, or maybe possibly even advocate for a victim of these crimes. Because since they're connected in the expeditions towards targets, they will make sure that they watch their back before they watch yours. Understand that and be very clear. And I also want to give you a thumbs up in reference to how you dedicated your life to helping people. Okay? And now, as far as statements go to the individuals that are involved in these employment descriptions that are involved in organized stalking expeditions, I'm here to tell you today that I know a lot more than you think I know, okay? And I'm a lot smarter than you believe that I am, okay? And, you know, if there's any type of sense of morality or righteousness left in your processes and in your personality attributes, I want to help you understand something. If you have children or a spouse, a mother, a father, or a sibling, and if you can imagine these types of crimes happening to one of your loved ones, then maybe you can begin to understand the results of what you do to your targets. I have no feelings for you whatsoever, because I know that you consciously made these choices to engage in these activities for money and to protect your ass. Okay? So I have no feelings for you whatsoever, including how you do and might continue to do what you do in order to protect yourself and your family. Because if you go to jail, I'm well aware that you would probably lose your pension, which in turn would affect your children. My greatest intent and my only care is for my other targets who are victims of this crime and potential targets of it. You made your choices to involve yourself in this organized crime syndicate and the expeditions of it. So I have no feeling for you and no concerns for you or your family at all. My only concern is what you have done to me and my life, my family, and what you're doing to my other fellow targets and their family and friends. Okay? You know, John 3:16, that is in the Bible that you can read, is available to anyone. So, as far as I'm concerned, you being an adult, over 18, and understanding that John 3:16 is available for you, you made the conscious choice to turn your back on it and engage in criminal activity that is felonious to the extreme and is heinous in its nature. So I have no feeling for you or your concerns or the reasons why you got sucked into these expeditions yourself. Because considering what us targets go through on a daily basis, even the threats, the assaults, the rapes, the total devastation of our personal life, our credit, our financial independence, our neural independence, okay, our spiritual independence, considering what we go through and how we still say no, and will commit and admit ourselves to go through anything to remain independent from you and your neural manipulation and your exploitation expeditions. If we still had the power, the conscious ability to be resourceful, okay, to not hurt anybody so we can remain independent, spiritually, monetarily, financially, morally, mentally, if we go through what we go through to remain independent from you and your expeditions and even possibly being sucked into the same organized crime syndicate that you're involved in, then you should have been able to find the mental strength and the spiritual strength to say no as well. So I have no feeling for you whatsoever, especially considering the fact that targets' children are literally taken from their parents and exploited in the most heinous ways that you can imagine. Everything from being starved practically to death, to being sexually exploited, to being purposely indoctrinated into drug use. I have no feeling for you whatsoever to this day, or your children, because my only care is about the victims of your crimes and how you're literally getting paid by taxpayer dollars to literally use your employment description to engage in these crimes. You're literally stealing, okay, including the pensions that you'll get from taxpayers' dollars as a result of you using your employment description to aid and abet in the expedition of these crimes, which will in turn feed your family and your children, okay? I have no feeling for you. To me, you're nothing but a thief in every realm of the word, including neural enslavement, okay? Our Heavenly Father did not create human beings to be neurally enslaved and exploited in the most heinous ways a human being can be exploited and then for a target of these crimes to turn around and have any feelings towards you, especially when John 3:16 is available to you. If I can live by faith, okay, and by strength, and say no to the very aspects of my soul with all my power and strength to not involve myself in any criminal activity, okay, at all, or to not hurt anybody in these expeditions, including even possibly even subjecting myself to complete exposure in reference to how you'll retaliate in reference to me exposing you. I'm literally risking my life exposing you. That shows what kind of a person I am. I'm literally willing to die to expose you, and you're literally willing to kill to keep your exposure from becoming known. And this is the difference between me and you. To me, you're nothing but a coward, okay, because of the type of expeditions you engage in, and how you do it with complete malice aforethought and no conscious responsibility for what you do, and even in the realm of the fact that you do not care at all about what you do. You know, I'm beginning to think that the only time a serial rapist will really even begin to understand what it's like to be a victim of rape is for him to be raped themselves, in order for them to literally physically feel what it's like to be a victim of such a heinous crime. Then I believe that the only way that individuals that engage in organized stalking expeditions, as far as the managers of these expeditions and their criminally connected freaks that are in the system that aid and abet them, the only way that they're going to really be able to understand, since they seem to be synaptically dissident from consciously caring about what the pain and suffering they're causing fellow targets, I believe the only way that they'll ever be able to understand what it's like to feel real fear about their physical integrity is to have that physical integrity threatened through legal avenues. And what I mean by that is exposing you through every legal mean that I can, in reference to your name, how you're using your employment description to aid and abet in these expeditions, and what happens to targets as a result. Again, I have no feeling for you whatsoever. And if you think that you're going to escape these crimes, understand this and be clear, whether you believe in God or care about God at all. I know in my mind and in my heart, as well as other civil-minded people also know, that what goes around will eventually come around to you, if not from us targets, but from either the public or through my Heavenly Father, because He will make you stand in judgment in reference to the crimes that you have perpetrated against innocent, purely innocent human beings. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California, and I want you to understand something. You have no right whatsoever to hurt any person at all, unless it's through self-defense means at all, okay, in reference to crimes that you were originally attached to, okay? And you have no right to take your employment description and use it to hurt innocent human beings. And as a result of why you do what you do, and because of the fact that you do it, I expose you. And I could give two shits about you, your spouse, your parents, or your children, in reference to how they might suffer if you're exposed. I only care about my fellow targets. My name is Leslie Williams. My hat's off to all law enforcement and government agency officials who actually do what they're supposed to do in reference to their employment descriptions. I am well aware of how stressful your jobs are, and I'm also well aware of how you put your life on the line to protect your community and the citizens within it. But as far as the individuals that are in these types of agencies that engage in organized stalking, I have no feeling for you at all whatsoever, and I will do everything and anything with every breath I take and every action I have through legal means to expose you out in the public, so what you do appears before the public eye in reference to the nature of your expeditions and what you're involved in and who you are.